some SnowRunner on hard mode, and I'm back in Michigan. And the reason I'm back in Michigan is because I took advantage of the recent, not so recent, depending on how you want to look at it, bug that turned a lot of people's hard mode games into regular mode by mistake, and I brought over 5 vehicles back to Michigan because I had not done logging yet. And the reason I hadn't done logging yet was because I didn't understand it in this game, so I just skipped it. And I thought to myself, well, there's still a lot of money to be made in Michigan, but not enough to justify the deployment fees, the cost of the fuel, because I had already burned all of the fuel in Michigan pretty much and taken some of it with me to other regions because there is a lot of fuel in Michigan. Long story short, because of the bug, the recent glitch, as you can see, I've got 3 vehicles there, and then at Smithfield Dam I've got 2 vehicles, the Fleet Star and the Tuz 16, and I'm not sure how to pronounce that, whatever in the quotes, so I'm not even going to try. I've already tried and I had to start my video over because I ruined the video, and I'm not going to do that again. So I've got 5 of these vehicles, and I'm going to do what I can do to accomplish what is left over here in Michigan, and that is all of the logging contracts, because once again, I didn't understand logging. It was kind of confusing. I didn't really understand logging until Wisconsin, when I did Wisconsin. And then I thought, could I ever go back to Michigan? And I thought, yes, I will. And then I did all the math and did all the risking, you know, all the fuel that's involved on hard mode, and I only had like a $20,000 profit. And then this glitch happened, and so I took 5 vehicles over for free. So you take that number and you times that by 3,500 and you come up with $17,500 is what you come up with. That I don't have to pay in deployment fees. Now let me just say one thing about deployment fees, maybe a few things. They are very debilitating for this game. They're a big reason why hard mode is so hard. Okay? Let's just say, for example, and let me just turn some settings down here. Let's go with audio with the engine volume. It's really, really loud. We're gonna turn it only down to like 15% so you can hear me talk. But we're gonna turn the music up to about, I don't know, 60%, just to hear something while you hear me talk too. You know, something in the background. Event sounds, we'll leave those off. Ambient volume, we'll leave it at about 80. Okay, let's continue. So I took advantage of that bug, and now my profits have gone from 20,000 to potential 40,000, including the risks, because to rescue a vehicle, God forbid, you know, you have to recover it on hard mode, because that costs a lot of money. Whenever you rescue a vehicle, you're burning fuel, but I took advantage of the bug, and I got a bunch of free fuel for Michigan. I got at least 2,500 gallons of just fuel that magically appears for regular mode players, but for hard mode, hey, that was a blessing in disguise. I took advantage of it. I also sold some trailers. I also took advantage of the glitch with the upgrades all being unlocked. That's what I did. Upgraded my Ford F750, gave it the best engine because I had not found the upgrade for that yet. I think a couple other vehicles I also did the same, and just by coincidence 90% of my vehicles were near a garage when this happened. Do you say garage or garage? I just said garage, and I never say garage. I usually say garage. Anyway, so you know when you teleport to the garage, now I'm focused on that word. That's kind of funny. On regular mode, it automatically repairs the bodywork. It automatically repairs everything across the board. On hard mode, it doesn't. So I did take advantage of that because, like I said, by coincidence, 90% of my vehicles happen to be like within 100 yards of a garage in Tennessee, in Maine, and those two regions, because I was doing them simultaneously, and the Don. That's the third one I'm doing simultaneously, and now Michigan. So I'm doing 4 regions simultaneously right now. And I'm glad I'm back in Michigan. And now my profits are a lot higher. And I also did sell, did I already say this? But I also sold like 3 or 4 trailers while the bug was active. And I hope anybody else that was also on hard mode did the same thing, but if you didn't, I can respect that. Because in a way I do feel kind of guilty, but I don't want to beat myself up too much because I didn't really get too greedy. And, you know, that's kind of a harsh word. Maybe greedy is not the right word. I didn't really work that hard to go and find. I could have, if I wanted to, at least 5 more trailers and could have made some serious selling cash. Because as you know, on hard mode, we cannot sell trailers. Like, for example, this trailer here, I did purchase this after the patch was put in, so it cost me $14,100. I'm talking about the this one right here. I can't sell this back. It's stuck here in Michigan to just sit here like a dinosaur skeleton, and then I move on to the next region. So in Wisconsin, before the glitch happened, I did have one of these long log trailer attachments in Wisconsin. So I thought to myself, wow. And then it dawned on me, a light bulb went off, which I'm sure the same thing with a bunch of other hard mode players did. After a while, after the initial shock, we thought to ourselves, hold on a second, we can go sell trailers. And so immediately we all log in. I'm sure this is what happened. We want to hurry up and do it because we're afraid they're gonna put the patch in before we can do it. So we log in and we diligently go through all of our trucks, all of our maps, and we look for trailers to sell. And that's what I did, but I only sold 3 of them. If I really worked at it, I could have sold like 5 or 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them and made some really serious extra spending money. But I didn't, and I'm happy I didn't, because I think if I would have done too much, I would have ruined my experience for hard mode and pretty much tainted the whole concept of what hard mode is, in my opinion. But like I say, you know, strange things happen in the Matrix. This was something that we didn't ask for. This was something that just happened. And it's not necessarily cheating if you take advantage of it in such a way. For example, a person like myself who's been playing hard mode now for over a year and a half. I'm sorry, about a year and a half. Solid, you know. Taking a few breaks once in a while, of course, playing different games. But for those that were playing this for maybe since launch day and were even further in the campaign and all they had left to do was update 8, and they had done all the other maps, maybe they went in there and now maybe they went into the game and did the exact same thing I did, but did it so they had way much more money, and now they're going into phase 8 with like hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe even $1 million, depending on how thorough they were, you know. And I mean that in the most respect, and I'm trying not to say that it's involved by doing any of that was cheating in any way. No, I do not think it is. But it's all from the perspective of the player. Did it ruin their concept of what hard mode is? Because hard mode is not easy. It is stressful. It will piss you off. You're going to want to throw your controller through the wall, but don't do it. Do not throw your controller through the wall, but you're going to want to. And you're going to want to rage quit. But you want to just walk away, take a break. If you've got some extra spending money, go do a different region. Go do some different maps. Think about it, rest on it. You will come up with a solution. Trust me. You will persevere. And it will happen, and then that feeling of accomplishment will be so great, you'll want to play this game even more. And it gets addictive. It's very addictive because hard mode is scary. I think I'm off track here. It's kind of dark here. And believe me, that's the best my headlights can do. No, we're good. I thought I was lost in the forest. So here we are, driving the P16. And by the way, this has the loudest air horn in the game. Are you ready? Are you ready for it? Adjust your speakers accordingly. 3, 2, and 1. Isn't that awesome? It sounds like a cargo ship or even a freight train, don't it? Listen, listen. Ready for it again? That is so awesome. I'm so glad I didn't sell this. Even though it's not all-wheel drive, do not discount this truck. It is a heavy hauler for long logging. It's basically what it's best for. Its sole purpose, and I know there's other purposes too. It can do cargo containers, I think. Or no, I'm thinking of the Cat. It can also do a saddle, I believe it's a saddle high or a saddle low, or is it both? I know it's one or the other, or both. Anyway. So I've only got two more medium logs to do. Sorry if I'm getting excited. My voice raises when I get excited. I try not to talk so loud. I try to be relaxed. But this is such a fun game, and it's so much fun to talk about. So it's getting dark. I'm here in Michigan doing logging again. Because of the magic of the happy accident that at first I was a little bit freaked out about. And I gotta be honest, I didn't think they would patch it. I didn't think they'd be able to do it, but they did. And I just want to give credit where credit is due. Thank you, developers, for giving us 5 out of 5 contest attempts now instead of 3 out of 3. I've noticed it across the board. Here in Michigan, all of my contests now have plus 2 more attempts. And I think that's awesome, and I just want to say thank you, developers of SnowRunner, for doing that for us hard mode players. Hard mode players, if you check all of your maps and regions that you've previously done, if you get a chance to go back, check out the contests. There's 2 more attempts left across the board on all contests so far from what I've seen. Don't take my word for it. You know, there could be a couple maybe they missed. But from what I've seen so far here in Michigan, there is a couple contests. Let me show you. And I can't show you because I don't have a vehicle there, but I can show you here on this screen. It's called, not meteorology data. That's a tough one, but I did do it. I might do it a couple more times. Pinewood Express, that is a fun one. I have 2 more attempts now. Food delivery, another fun one. So I have 2 contests, and I'm going to do those with the Fleet Star, the Michigan vehicle, which I have at Smithfield Dam right now. And right now it's a fuel tanker, but I can always, switch out the frame accordingly with what I've got, and then turn that back into a cargo truck with a crane and do those missions. Yeah, that's going to be fun. So I'm excited about that. I get some extra spending money, and then all future maps that we do, I guess it's going to be 5 out of 5. They listen to us. I got to give the developers of this game actually listen to their players. That's why this game is so awesome. So that's going to do it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed my commentary and the music and everything about it. The P16 air horn, the Fleet Stars. Let's see. Let's just hit the back button a couple times, and we'll end this video. I'll show you the Aramatsu Forester. It's almost dark. There's the horn. One more time. Here's the horn. And then we're going to go to the Dan. Which, the Dan, I haven't really found a good use for it yet. And I think the best use I can think of is just the crane or the tanker. And I don't even know what size tanker it gets. I can't remember. I can't remember if it's a really big tanker or just a ridiculously small one. But the problem with this truck that I don't like is it can't have a crane and a cargo attachment, flatbed or sideboard, plus the crane. It's got this long frame and it just doesn't make sense how it's utilized. It's something to do with the bodywork. And what is that back there? Is that a sleeping compartment, or is that the engine? I'm thinking that's the engine back there, right? It's a very awkward looking vehicle, but it has its uses. I do have the upgraded suspension that I found for it. That's always nice. As you can see, watch this. Change suspension mode. See how it does that? It isn't much, but it is just enough sometimes in some maps where the rocks, where you need that ground clearance. And I know it's hard to see here, it's dark. There's so much to talk about in SnowRunner. SnowRunner videos are always long, you know. But I've got this. This is all free fuel provided by the glitch. That's going to be my new catchphrase. Provided by the glitch, if I ever talk about fuel in Michigan. Yeah. Lots of free fuel. I took advantage of it. You have to, because I took that into account too when I thought, would I ever go back? And I thought to myself, nope, it's just not worth it. With all the risks involved, the fuel, the cost, the deployment fees, I thought I would never come back to Michigan. And I'm happy I'm back here. Wow, it's like a dream come true. It's like my dreams of coming back to Michigan in SnowRunner are true. I always wanted to tackle logging, because there's a lot of money to be made in logging, but not if you have to come back. Do it while you're there. But the problem is this game doesn't have a good tutorial on logging. So, yeah, I was kind of confused as to how it worked. And the reason is because small logs was in the conversation, and medium logs and long logs is the only thing available in Michigan, not small logs or short logs, which are however you want to say it. And some other reasons that I can't remember that just kind of steered me away from logging in SnowRunner until, like I say, I reached Wisconsin. I started asking questions in live streams of other creators that play this game. And that's how I had to ask questions. This game is terrible at teaching a person how its logging concepts work. And because of that, I think a lot of people avoid logging at first. So, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you can't just say go and do logging. You have to actually ask questions as you go to learn how you go, because everybody's different. For me at first, it didn't click. So I'm glad I'm back. I'm glad I'm back in Michigan. And what am I going to do with this eventually? The Dan, I think I'll turn it into a crane, because right now I do have a crane, but right now it's on a different truck in a different region. Maybe I'll buy another one. I mean, it's too long almost. It can have the long log attachment, okay, but it's just too long to do logging. It would get, when it comes to a road that's got some curves in it, some tight curves, some tight turns, I just don't see it happening. I see it getting stuck while it's trying to turn, because the frame is just ridiculously, stupidly long, and it doesn't put it to use correctly. It doesn't make sense to me. It's kind of ridiculous looking. It's like an Egyptian pharaoh truck. You know, some of those Egyptian pharaohs weren't exactly normal looking, because, you know, as history books tell us, their body shapes just didn't make any sense. But that's a whole different subject, and I won't get into that. Yeah. Did you know that? Did you know that, by the way? Egyptian pharaohs had, like, I'm not trying to make fun of them, I'm just saying. The Dan reminds me of an Egyptian pharaoh's warped, what's the best way I can describe it and be respectful? Abnormal human features because of, let's just say it, inbreeding. Yes, the Egyptian pharaohs were nothing but just inbred, like, kind of like the bulldog. What it was 100 years ago was not what it was today. 100 years ago, the bulldog was a happy animal. Nowadays, the pure bulldog. Now, I'm not a dog expert. I'm not an animal expert, but I do like animals, and I can empathize with this poor animal that's been inbred, a pure bulldog with these features, and this animal can't breathe. It's stupid looking. It doesn't live very long. It's in constant pain. That's what the Dan reminds me of. It's like 100 years of inbreeding, or 1,000 years of ancient pharaoh inbreeding is what the Dan basically comes down to. And I think I've said enough. I don't understand this truck, but people seem to love it. The best use I can think for it is just the crane, the big giant crane. That's the best use for it. I mean, otherwise I'd sell it. I don't understand this truck. How it only has one, because the body, the frame fits it. It makes sense. It all comes together. The body center, the center of mass, there's the physics that are involved with a big giant beast of a vehicle. You know, the heavy crane is what makes most sense with this, and that's what makes it useful. Anything else just doesn't make sense with this. I don't understand it. Maybe somebody can get a torch, a welder's torch, and weld a crane onto this thing and do it themselves and make some ingenuity. I'm just kidding. I'm just role playing. All right, everybody have a good day. And yeah, that's my truck, the Dan, which I don't understand, but it does have its uses. I mean, I'm using it here. And I brought it just to use it and try it and to see if I like it. And I like it, but it's weird. It's just a weird truck. Yeah, I think I've said enough. Let me know in the comments what you think. All right, and thank you for watching this long and listening to my rambling and just improv, banter, off the cuff, unscripted talking points about SnowRunner. All right, thanks. Have a good day. Hit that like button, and you know what to do next, right? Yeah.